Welcome to HPCN channel. Today again we are going to continue the nationalism in Europe. In the previous classes we studied regarding the aristocracy landlord and the making of nationalism in Europe, and all this information we studied in the previous class. Today we are going to continue the next side reading. The next side reading which is placed in your CBSE standard book is what did liberalization stands for. What is liberalization stands for, or what does liberalism stands for? What does liberalism stand for? This is what the information which is given as a next side reading in your book. Say, just go through whatever teaching in this session. So, what are the information which given under this topic is the first thing. In 19th century, there was a idealism which created in the minds of the Europeans. That was liberalism. Actually, nationalism was originated with the French Revolution, which we studied in the previous class. Now, what do you mean by liberalization and what do you mean by liberalism, and when it was originated? It was originated in the 19th century in the minds of the European. Second point will be, how does this word came from, or how does this word derive? How does this word derived? Actually, this is a liberalism word which derived from the word of liber. This liberalism is a word which got from the word of liber. Liber means free. Liber means free. In other words, you can say freedom. So whatever you want to do, without asking anyone, without getting the permission from anyone, if you are doing anything instantly, that is what the kind of liberalism or the liberalization. So liberalization is a word which is derived from liber, which means free. And next thing will be, there are many perspectives. Actually, different kinds of people were located there. Different kinds of people have different perspectives on the word of liberalism. For example, what was the thought of middle class people? We studied that there are middle class people and working class division. This is the two division which originated at those times we studied. Now, I want to let you know what was the observation of middle class on the word of liberalism or the liberalization. So regarding the middle class observation was, they thought liberalization means individuality and equal rights in front of the law. Equality in front of the law. This was a thought which had by the middle class people, which was the thing they understood on the term of liberalism or liberalization. The second perspective regarding the rulers thought, whatever the decision which we bring, that has to agree by the people, that have to agree by the people. That was the second acceptation. Actually, the ruling class people or the king or queen, or they introduce many reforms, they make a decision of anything. That decision has to approve, that decision has to agree by the citizens of that country. That was the meaning for the liberalization by the ruling community or by the ruling authority. So these were some observations which had by the people those time on the word of liberalization or the liberalism. The next thing will be, they elected the representative form of government. Representative form of government have been introduced. What do you mean by representative form of government? Even in India also they are having the representative form of government. Who are the representative of us? The representative like MLA, like MP. Actually some MPs or some MLAs who elected by the people, and they have been sent to the parliament or to the legislative assembly. With the support of them, the government have been ruled us. So this is what a representative government having introduced that question. Then next thing will be universal suffrage. Universal suffrage. Everyone know what it is suffrage. I want to let you know. Suffrage means voting right. Suffrage means voting right. In India, we used to call upon the term as a universal adult franchise. That means the people who are having the voting right. Here, universal suffrage was there. Universal suffrage was a thing which they want to implement. And one thing will be one thing I want to let you know regarding the Napoleonic Code. Regarding the Napoleonic Code, many things have been reduced. Some field was improved and some field got down. So here the people want to be the universal suffrage. Let's see. I want to let you know what are the problems faced by the people of those time on voting right. And the people, men only have the voting right. Now I let you know when universal suffrage was implemented, how it was implemented, and what was the condition before the implementation of universal suffrage. So due to the Napoleonic Code, universal suffrage was reduced, and Jacobin Club. One thing I want to let you know. Jacobin clubs were the clubs which installed by the educated middle class people in Europe. One more time. Jacobin clubs were the clubs which installed by the educated middle class people. I told you. This Jacobin clubs people who had given the voting right to all the men. Jacobin clubs who had given the voting right to all the men. But due to the Napoleonic Code, that right have been reduced. That voting right was only given to the men who owned the property. One more time. For example, in the world level, we are having both haves and have-nots. Haves and have-nots. Haves means the people who are rich, or the people who own the property, the people who own many sources, more income. That is what the meaning of the haves. Have-nots means as usual, poor people, opposites or haves. Some people own the property, some people don't have any property, or they doesn't possess any property. So here, because of the Napoleonic Code, Napoleon had given the voting right only to the people, especially only to the men who owned the property. So there was no voting right to the men who doesn't have any property. That's the first thing. Second thing will be, women wasn't permitted to cast their vote. Don't mistakenly cast mean it's a PC or SC like that. Is not a meaning here. Here cast. This cast I told you. This cast means put a vote in favor of whom we deliver our vote. No, that is a cast. So because of the Napoleonic Code, they had given the voting right to the men only who are having the property, and they didn't give the voting right to the men who doesn't have a property, and women also not allowed to cast their vote. So when this problem was occurred, the people couldn't tolerate this condition. They want to do they want to make some changes there. So in 19th century, all the people joined together and oppose the government. All the people joined together and protest against the government. So by the way, they introduced the universal suffrage. Universal suffrage wasn't there, or universal suffrage doesn't implemented within a short duration. It takes more time. It caused many revolutions. All the men, all the women who participated against the government, and they demanded the universal suffrage. But one day it became fruitful, one day it became fulfilled. Anyway, in 19th century, all the people joined together and got the universal suffrage. So these are the information which had given in your book. And one more thing which is given in that point is in 1833. I want to let you know in 1833. In 1833, one trader who visited to France, and when he came to France, he faced many difficulties. Why he faced difficulties? Because of the Napoleonic War, that the 39 Confederation was formed. Principalities, many small places joined together and formed a 39 Confederation. It was a group of principalities. Small petty kingdoms are there, that being together and form a 39 Confederation. And when there were 39 Confederation, they doesn't follow the same currency. The 39 Confederation were there, one principality used to follow one currency, another principality used to follow another kind of currency, and they don't follow the same weights and measure. Currency was different among them, and even weights and measure was different among them. So when one merchant or one trader who visited there, he reported that he crossed some 11 custom barrier. 11 custom barrier. What do you mean custom? Customs. Two things will be there. Custom means habit. One thing we can say habit. Traditionally we used to follow some habit, that is also custom. Here custom means the taxes. Here custom means the taxes. So when we exported something to other country, we have to pay taxes. When other countries send some product to our country, they have to pay taxes to our government. That condition is still practiced in the world. So that merchant reported, he stated that he crossed 11 custom barrier. What do you mean by barrier? Hurdle. What do you mean by hurdle? Obstacle. Same meaning for everything. Like some kind of disturbance, some kind of problem. So he said that he crossed 11 custom barrier and he paid the tax amount for 5%. 5% taxes has to pay by that merchant as per the information which given. And he told that there were many hurdles which I faced because it took more time for the calculation. Just imagine 39 confederation. From when he reached to each and every confederation, he have to face the different kinds of currency. He have to face different kinds of weights and measure. So he was totally upset, and he paid nearly 5% of taxes to that confederation that mentioned. Then, so the government, the country want to solve the problem. Because of that reason, they established Zollverein or the custom union in 1834. They established the Zollverein or the custom union. Is a committee. It's a group of members who seated there. They take a stand to solve this kind of problem. So first thing, in 1834, Zollverein or custom union was established to solve the problem, to sort out the problem whichever occurred over the trade and commerce. Anyway, it took many steps. And it introduced the standardized weights and measure. same weights and measure was introduced in all the parts of 39 confederation. Second thing will be the currency have been reduced. I told you each and every federation, each and every municipalities have different kinds of currency. I told you. Now the different kinds of currency have been reduced from 32 to 2. 32 to 2. 32 to be that, not 32 to 32. 32 to 2. Actually nearly 30 kinds of currencies which are followed by those principalities, that currencies have been reduced into the number of 2 by the custom union or by the zollverein, which was organized in the year 1834. So these were the information which explained under this side heading. And one more point will be railway. Railway was in India. Railway was introduced. First railway was introduced between the places of Mumbai to Thane. Just like railways have been promoted, many kinds of railway channel have been set up. So because of the railway, the economic was developed. The economic condition have been developed, and by the way, they promote their countries. They promote their countries. So when there was a production, when there was a proper trade and commerce, by the way, we can improve the economic condition. That condition was prevailing European countries, especially in the 18th and 19th centuries. So these were some information which have explained understanding of what did liberalism stands for. Thank you for joining with me. Now next thing, conservation. What do you mean conservation? What do you mean conservatism? That all this information we will see in the next class. Stay with me. This is SPCM channel. Thank you.